Hi, I'm Genevieve Wood, and I'm now joined in studio by somebody you often see on Fox, Kirsten Powers. Thank you for being here.
Great to be here.
You're the author of a new book called The Silencing: How the Left is Killing Free Speech. There's a lot I want to talk to you about in here, but the first is it just the left that's killing free speech?
Well, as a cultural phenomenon, yes. There certainly are conservatives out there who are trying to silence people. You see it from time to time. But when I was looking at sort of a wide sweeping cultural phenomenon that I think where you see people on the left trying to silence debates, it's undeniable to me that it's happening far more on the left, primarily because they control the levers of our most influential cultural institutions, the media, academia, the internet, Hollywood. So even if conservatives wanted to be doing it, they just don't have the influence in these really critical areas.
Now, there's a lot of examples you give, whether it's the Hobby Lobby case and how the feminists basically shout down anyone, including other women who disagreed with them, gay rights groups who basically shout down anybody who disagrees with them. It seems like it's almost about winning at any cost, destroying people, not just personal, but getting rid of their jobs, making them lose their careers. Is that accurate?
Well, to me, it's more right now, at least, about silencing debates. Every now and then you do see somebody like a Brendan Eich who loses his job, but the point wasn't really about him losing his job. The point was about shutting down a certain debate and making people who hold his view completely toxic. And I think most people know I support gay rights and I oppose Proposition 8, which is what got him fired, giving $1,000 to it. But the point was more about to say this is an illegitimate view. If you hold it, you're a bigot. And you shouldn't be able to be the head of an organization that has absolutely nothing to do with same-sex marriage. And so I think they're really focused on silencing the debate and not necessarily, I don't know that it's necessarily their goal to get people fired, but if that's a way to sort of send a message, they're happy to do it.
Did you ever at any point after you wrote it or even while you were writing it think, should I be doing this?
Yes.
Are they going to come after me?
Absolutely. Yes, I definitely thought that while I was writing it. And yeah, the more I got into it and saw just how broad-based it was. And I interviewed a lot of people who were victims of this, and a lot of them are not, like I said, they're not conservatives. Some of them, one of the girls at University of Alaska Fairbanks, feminist, pro-choice, Democrat, wrote a satirical article making fun of the Women's Studies department, and next thing she knew, she and the campus newspaper were under investigation, for sexual harassment. So I just started to realize, like, wow, there's nobody that's really safe from this. This is not something that's, some people have said, oh, this is all about, conservatives complaining. It's like, no, there are tons of people in here who are moderate Democrats who aren't even political, who don't even have ideological dog in the fight.
Well, and you said it's happening a lot of places, but college campuses, which are supposed to be places where we have great debates, right, and free speech is everywhere, but increasingly it's not.
Yeah, well, and that's particularly concerning, is that but I do think, we're seeing it on college campuses, but I think we're seeing it in our culture broadly, which is this whole the debate is over idea, that some people have decided that we're not going to talk about certain things, and if you do, you're going to be delegitimized. And yeah, they're teaching this basically on a lot of campuses, not all campuses. And some of the administrators are actually great. For example, at University of California, Berkeley, when the students tried to disinvite Bill Maher for his criticisms of Muslim countries, interestingly from a progressive position, the administrators overruled the students, and said, no, we believe in free speech, and he's going to come, and we're actually going to have to reevaluate how you guys operate because this is not okay. So it's not. Sometimes it's the administrators, often it's the students, sometimes it's the faculty. It's different on each campus, but there is this overarching problem of there are just people on these campuses who really believe that offending somebody is the biggest, impediment to an education, when in fact I think you should be able to be offended and be shocked and hear things that you don't want to hear. We're better than on a campus.
You say that this book is really about just calling people's attention to this. Who most needs to read the book?
Liberals, moderate Democrats, just independents. I think conservatives should read it just because I think they can maybe understand the situation a little better, but I think most conservatives know that it's going on. I don't think most people who are just sort of moderates, like I said, whether they're a moderate Republican or a moderate Democrat, have any idea. And so those are the people that really need to read this and really absorb what's happening in our culture, because this just isn't something that's getting a lot of coverage. It's something when I talk to my Democratic friends about, they've never heard of Brendan Eich, they've never heard of Ian Hersey Alley. They don't even know that it's happening.
So basically, anybody who knows a liberal or somebody in the middle, you need to buy this book now for their birthday, early Christmas gift, early Hanukkah, whatever holiday people celebrate, because we don't want to offend anybody. Kirsten, just two more questions. One is, you're on Fox. Why is there so much animus against Fox News from those on the left, all the way up to the president?
Yeah, because it's exactly what this book is about. They can't tolerate any kind of disagreement or dissent.
And they believe it because folks like you are telling them that.
I'm not telling them that.
And so they have to, like, if you look at the administration and their obsession with Fox News, they have the whole rest of the media who is pretty compliant, and at least when they started this, what I call the war on Fox News, it was about 6 months after the president came in office. I mean, can we think of anyone who's ever gotten better media coverage, right? And yet this one organization, they just couldn't handle it. They couldn't tolerate it. And so that speaks, I think, to the level of intolerance and being able to have different views. It's like, you got the whole media. Why can't you just let Fox News be Fox News and debate them? Come on air, come talk to them. It's not, but that's not. Again, and what you see throughout this is that people don't want to debate. They want to shut down the debate. They don't want to hear it, and they don't want anyone else to hear it.
Final question for you. Many people look at you and they say, how could such a smart, principled woman still call herself a liberal? So how do you answer that question?
There are smart, principled liberals. I know lots of them. They're in my family. I think, it's not, some people have said, like, oh, you're becoming a conservative. It's like, this is about free speech. This book is 100% about free speech, which I actually think is a very liberal idea. And I talk a lot about the history of liberalism and free speech. And I think that, I can disagree on some policy ideas, but this is the one thing that we can agree on, that we have to have a robust debate. We have to have absolute, untrammeled free speech. Not just protection from the government, but I think we have to, as a society, always err on the side of encouraging debate and disagreement, and let people say, if you think that they have stupid ideas, let them say they're stupid ideas, and review, and you can out debate them, but you shouldn't silence them.
Kirsten Powers, again, it's called The Silencing: How the Left is Killing Free Speech.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.